Name is Marcus Johnson, and this is my PowerPoint presentation on climate change and its detrimental effects on food security, where I look at the three working groups within the IPCC in relation to this issue. Now, what is the IPCC? This is also known as the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, is a scientific group assembled by the United Nations to monitor and assess all the global science related to climate change. Throughout the research conducted by the IPCC, confidence on the related findings is really measured with very low, low, medium, and high confidence. Below is a chart depicting how the researchers go about finalizing their confidence level. And with some of the statements I provide in this PowerPoint, I'll really just state one of those terms, which really synthesizes the author team's judgments about the validity of findings as determined through evaluation of evidence and agreement. What I find most interesting about this massive research report is that they can really categorize into three areas sequenced in a way that really further reaches the ultimate goal of mitigations. First, it informs you about the physical aspects of climate change through Working Group 1, the impacts, adaptability, vulnerability on humans through Working Group 2, and before concluding the vital part, what we should do globally to mitigate these issues in Working Group 3. For the purpose of this presentation, I'll really just focus on specific findings in each of these working groups in relation to food security. It won't be a lot of information, but just a couple of important facts within each group to kind of give you guys a comprehensive uh, knowing of these different working groups and what they found in each. Within working group 1, they found a steady increase in land temperatures increased by 1.59 degrees Celsius between the periods of 1850 to 1900 and 2011 to 2020. With this, human-induced climate change has really contributed to increase in agricultural and ecological droughts in some regions due to evapotranspiration, which is essentially just a transfer of water from land to the atmosphere. And this is said with medium confidence. Based on the graph, it really indicates that as the global temperature steadily increases over the years, we can see incremental steps of 1.0, 1.5, 2.0, 3, and 4.0 degrees Celsius, and this increase in temperature is also increasing the relative frequency of different droughts in different regions, which really has detrimental effects on crop yields and different plant security. In working group 2, climate change is what they found is that climate change is really projected to negatively impact the four pillars of food security, which is availability, access, utilization, and stability, and their interaction. And this is said with high confidence. When we put all the information for working group 1 together, there are detrimental effects associated with the science extracted. First, given the steady increase in global temperatures, the growth and the productivity of agriculture has really slowed and are negatively affecting crop and grassland quality and the harvest stability. And this is said with high confidence. This effect is consequently stressing food and forestry systems with negative consequences for hundreds of millions of people's livelihoods, food security, and nutrition. When we look at the different people who are most vulnerable, it is stated within the report that women, the elderly, and children in low income households are the most vulnerable, with including indigenous people and different minority groups. For working group 3, this is the area where we say, how do we solve this and what ways we can do to improve? This section to me is probably one of the most important as it gives the public a view of how we can really relieve the effects of climate change. And what's great is that these tactics are tangible for many people. There's an area called climate smart agriculture, also known as the CSA. And this is an approach developed to really tackle current food security and climate change challenges in a coordinated way. I mean, CSA is designed to be a pathway towards development and food security built on like three different pillars, which is increasing productivity and incomes, enhancing the resilience of livelihoods and ecosystems, and reducing and removing GHG, also known as greenhouse gas emissions, from the atmosphere. And here are just a couple tactics that scientists and farmers use to really better food security. This is through crop diversification, which is growing more than one crop in a given area, maintaining local genetic diversity, which is just a range of different inherited traits within a species, which is critical for population to adapt and to changing environments as we are going through right now with the increase in global temperatures. and different soil organic measurement, which really promotes healthy crops, supplies resources for microbes and other soil organisms, and also regulates the supply of water, air, and nutrients to plants, which really gives these healthy, um, really enhances the health of these plants. And another way you can be part of the change is really by incorporating a plant-based diet. This is something tangible for many. It's something very difficult to do. I started this 3 years ago, and it could start out incrementally. So you can start by doing meatless Mondays, or just any day where you just take a day to take out meat, and that is something that can really help lower the GHG emissions worldwide. You can have a huge contribution to this area. So I really appreciate the time you took to watch the video, and I hope you guys have a good one.